All right, so this is going to be part one in a series that I'm going to do, and this is just going to be me talking about making a wilderness survival kit. This isn't about like a bug out or go bag or anything like that. That kind of covers a different aspect of survival. This covers more about being out in the woods and taking care of certain needs and having the skills and items to possibly supplement maybe and maybe give you some ideas about some additional things to maybe put in a bug out or go bag, because that's more about, like that evacuating. You've been hit by a natural disaster or something like that, Katrina, earthquake, volcano, fire, whatever, flood. The list goes on and on. But and this is meant for people who don't have any background in this. So if you know what the rules of three are or the five C's, go ahead and go to the next thing while I explain this, because my part of my channel is about explaining to people, making it easier for me to explain to people who I meet face to face out in my everyday life, about what this is, because they'll have questions. They're like, well, why do you carry that? Why do you do that? Why do you have so many knives? Why do you need this knife versus this knife? That kind of thing. And so I'm gonna try to keep it simple and basic, because it is and it isn't. The idea is very simple, but when you start getting into it, it's multi-layered. So what you need in a basic survival situation, and I'm talking like that, out in the woods, and you're in, all of a sudden something happens and you're in an oh no, I'm in trouble moment, okay? And the items and the knowledge that you need to get through that. I will talk about experiences, both personally and people that other people have gone through, that have also led to my kit choices, and then just my own experience. So I'm sitting at home. That's where it starts. Start with a piece of paper and a list, of what you want. Take notes on stuff that you read in a book or see on a show, survival show. Yeah, those are very entertaining, but you can take some very nice little, oh yeah, that's a good idea, how to notch a piece of wood or something like that. Excuse me. So, anyways, the survival mentality that a lot of us go by is keeping your body healthy in an emergency situation. Now, that can be avoiding an injury or maintaining your body core temperature so that you don't get too hot, too cold. A good ruler for that are the rules of three. It's not a new concept, it's even mentioned in the Bible a little bit. So it's it's been around and it's well recognized all over the world. It's fairly basic, but multi-sectioned list, and it helps you assess where you are in your personal safety. I'm going to say calendar, because it covers seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks. Okay, so I'm going to just list them off and offer a little bit of an explanation of them. So, in seconds, you can only survive 3 seconds without thinking. And it also goes in hand with the minutes. You're in the situation, you realize it, and you panic. And you start running. I have personal experience with this. I was like 4 or 5 years old. I was in a store with my family, my mom and dad, and I turned around to look at something. And when I turned back, they were gone. And me and my sister both panicked, and we both started running, just took off. And then reality set in and I stopped. And I remembered what I was always told. Sit in one spot. So I sat down, and within they saw me go. They grabbed my sister and came and found me. So it was a little thing, but it was a very important life lesson for me. 3 seconds without thinking, you panic and you do something wrong. You run off a cliff. You stumble and fall, and you make your situation worse, or you turn a benign situation. Something like, oh no, I'm lost, and then you turn around and if you just stop and think and look around, oh, there's the trail sign. you know Now that leads into the second in the list, in minutes. 3 minutes without breathing. And no, I'm not talking about being underwater. Yes, that counts, but you have a panic attack and and you hyperventilate. That can also go hand in hand with 3 hours in bad weather. If it's super hot outside and you're breathing wrong and you pass out, you're exposed to the sun, or you're exposed to the storm that's coming, or so those are the three that are going to kill you the quickest, or hurt you the quickest. 3 seconds, 3 minutes, 3 hours. If you can make it through that, then you can probably make it through the 3 days without water, and definitely make it to the 3 day or 3 weeks without food. Okay, so those first three though, okay, if you are already through beyond the seconds and the minutes and you're like, oh no, okay, it's okay to be afraid, but stop and think. Okay, your brain is your best survival tool. The knowledge, your reasoning ability, and then the kit items that you pick. So if you're already sitting there thinking, okay, it's like I'm lost, or oh no, what was that noise? Is that a bear? And then what you've got to do, or oh man, those clouds. I've been hiking for 3 hours. I'm 3 hours away from my car, and there's storm clouds coming. It can happen. They pop up, boom, like that, and here they come. Do you have the means to weather through that storm and keep moving, or do you need to hunker down? And then, if that's the case, can you spend the night if need be? Okay, so we're not even talking about a 24-hour scenario. We're maybe just talking about a 12-hour scenario. If you have to spend the night and then get back to your car, if it's already 6 o'clock, then you're only talking about 6 o'clock till the next day, unless it's a 3-day storm, which does happen, but more often than not, we got hit by a storm last night, for example, and it's already gone. So that's what we're going to be covering. The kit items typically cover up to the 3 days without water. For example, a stainless steel water bottle. You can keep your water, boiling, purifying, and stuff like that, along with a couple other kit items. You can keep yourself hydrated, but this also lends to keeping yourself cool and warm if you have the means for a fire. So kit items go hand in hand, and that's what we're going to be getting into. So stay tuned, and I'll start going into my kit in the next thing, and we're going to go into the 5 C's and why I use them. They're not the hard and true only way to go, but that's why I use them, because they're simple. We're going to go into that, and we're going to go into how they affect your survivability in the moment, and in the like, say, the 24-hour 3-day scenario. So going into the long term and how they can supplement, you can start thinking about how they can supplement maybe a longer term kit or whatever.